The spirit said make this video. So what I did first is I put myself to the test. I was the first person I judged. I didn't tell myself who I was, and then I lined up the exact scenarios that I've gone through that are written about me. I did it all exactly the same, and the spirit told me, now look back at your decisions. Who do you look like? So looking at the world, it was hard for me to be like, I'm always good. And then I was like, I don't want to make this about me, about me, about me. But it has to start with me. And one thing that I always wanted was the truth. That I decided a long time ago, I am the truth. There's no way I can't be anything else but the truth. So understanding that, it came down to I can't be anyone but me. So then I looked at it like, do I even like myself? I have thoughts and emotions and things like that. And then living it, I understood why I did some of the things I did. And then I judged those actions. And I was like, no, those were just, I understand. Because you also have to understand, you're protecting, you're preventing what people were on the path to do. You're seeing way down the road. And then, but you're also, you brought judgment. So the reap what you sow is part of judgment. So you have that. And you have the father aspect. All right, am I doing the right thing for my kids? Am I doing the right thing for my wife? What are my motives behind all of this? So long before that, love. Well, there's the feeling, and then there's the action. So combining the two is what I've always wanted to do in the most pleasant way possible. I love pleasant stuff. So one thing I learned from Eve, after she ate the pomegranate. Now remember, the pomegranate symbolizes what God tells you not to do. She had these words, we are human and we have emotions. And she was very, very upset by that, which is understandable. I just looked at her like, God has a plan, have faith, God is in control. And she was trying to tell me I'm not like you anymore. But I couldn't hear her. I was just like, I'm not understanding why you're upset. God has given us so much. I'm just being me. The Spirit's speaking through me. I learned words and which ones are supposed to come out, which ones to hold in my head. You learn these things. Marriage will teach you that. So that separation There were two different type of people now. And then I looked at it and I was just like, I wanted people to understand that that's a gift. John said to me once, he said, "You don't want to be perfect." And I was just like, I'm me. Your guys' lives are much easier. But one of the rules I live by all my rules. So I'm always searching for the perfect way to glorify God. And then the Spirit pushes me into the forefront. Whereas I'm trying to put the Spirit in the forefront. And it's very righteous. It's the way it is. And then I always help myself through things. So the truth exists. And it's nothing to fear or be scared of when you understand that God is always good. What I'm teaching you now should bring the whole story to life and make you feel more loved than ever. That's the goal. The real story of you. So the Spirit tells me, it was a strange conversation too. I was like, what am I supposed to do? The Spirit's just quiet. And then I'm watching her be very angry and upset. She hasn't said that she did anything wrong. She's not asking for help at all. She's just kind of pouting and not happy like she used to be. And it kind of happened in transitions. I just kind of noticed that we could no longer communicate like we used to. And all I could sit there and do is watch, feeling almost helpless, right? So I'm sitting there like, all right. And then the Spirit told me, eat. And I was like, I don't think I heard you right. And then I would be like, wait, okay, eat. Supposed to eat. And this was at the point of tears. This was at the point of all kinds of things. And then I would start to walk towards it and then stop and be like, it doesn't feel right. I don't think I'm supposed to do this, but I heard you. And this went on for a couple weeks in your human terms. And then I finally did it. And I didn't feel any different. And then I was trying to tell her And she didn't feel any different. So I was like, okay. But life got harder for us both. And I was always like, still praying, still being guided by the Spirit. And we had a life where God provided everything for us until we separated. And I was like, okay, so that's what it's going to be like being married to the world. And there were amazing moments, and I surprised her with a lot of things and took care of her and made sure she was okay. And I was like, okay. So when you do not want to obey God and you're married to somebody that doesn't want to obey God, that's what you should expect. Like, all right. So I've been through that so I can teach it. But you also have to understand the Spirit is me. So I want people to understand there's no punishment as far as what punishment from God would entail when you are trying to seek and please God. Punishment is simply correction. God is way up here and is not petty and is not what people think. Every action from God comes from peace, and it comes from love. And let's see. God is just. Everything that God does has a reason for it, and it impacts someone positively. And there's a lot that I'm not going to explain because you have to be ready and understand the basics before you can really truly understand God's thought process. But when you created the universe and everything in it, there's no reason to want to hurt it.